Right, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rekar Kadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutation to the Akim pushing this word in truth and sincerity. Here we go. It says here, this is CNN, fake news, politics, CNN politics. It says, Syria accidentally shoot down a Russian military plane. Bollocks. When they're having correspondence with Russia, they accidentally shot it down. They shot it down, if anything. And it says here, let's see if the video plays. Let's see if the video plays first. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. No, we don't. Don't seem like it's gonna play. So let's get rid of that motherfucker. Right, it says here.
Well, this is an incident, the details of which, as you say, are just now being made clear to us, coming from the Defense Ministry, quoted on the Russian state media, saying that 15 Russians died when one of their naval patrol aircraft was shot down. It seems they were shot down by Syrian air defences S-200.
Bollocks. Russians missiles shot down there. Nah, you're fucking with a nigger. Sorry, Salakia. Trying to shut it down. I'll read it instead. It says here, Moscow, Syrian advertently shot down a Russian military plane after an Israeli attack on Syria positions, killing 15 people on board, Moscow said. The Russian military said Tuesday that the Russian maritime patrol aircraft... What the fuck's that? That's Satan, you see. Satan don't want to bring this word out. Let's find out what that is, because that's fucking my head up. What the hell is that? Alright, it's not there. Let's see if we can find it. Fuck that shit. Right, here we go again. Let's go again. Satan. Fuck you, Satan. Yeah, alright, let's get back into this. Syria, Russian military said Tuesday that the Russian maritime patrol aircraft was shot by a Syrian regime anti-aircraft artillery amid the Israeli attack on Monday. State news agency RIA Novosti reported. Moscow blamed Israel for putting its aircraft in the line of fire, Russian state news agency RIA Novosti reported. As a result of the irresponsible actions of Israel military, 15 Russian servicemen were killed, which is absolutely not in keeping with the spirit of Russian-Israeli partnership, said Russian Major General Igor Konashenkov, spokesperson for the Russian military, according to the RIA Novosti. In a statement Tuesday, the Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, responded to the accusations by blaming the Assad regime for the deaths of the Russian aircrew and claiming that the IDF had followed the usual procedures when carrying out an attack in Syria, including making use of well-established communication links with Moscow. Israeli holds the Assad regime, whose military shot down the Russian plane, fully responsible for this incident. The statement said, adding that Iranian and Hezbollah were also accountable. According to the statement, Syrian anti-aircraft batteries fired indiscriminately, and from what we understand, did not bother to ensure no Russian planes were in the air. The incident presents Russia with a diplomatic conundrum, as the country has a strong relationship with both Israel and Syrian regime. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said yesterday Moscow was extremely concerned about the downing of the aircraft, but declined to comment on further steps the Russian government might take in response or on any potential impact on its relations between Russia and Israel. According to the handout from the Russian Ministry of Defense of a conversation between Israeli Defense Minister Ivagor Lieberman, can't pronounce them Amalekite names, man, they're just off, and his Russian counterpart, Army General Sergei Shoigu. Shoigu described the actions of the Israeli Air Force as irresponsible and said that to Lieberman that the fault for the downed plane and the deaths of its crew rests entirely with the Israeli side, because they know they're about that. We reserve the right for further reciprocal steps, Shoigu said, according to the handout. What else does it say? I'll read that bit there. The photo taken July 26 shows the Russian Li-20M plane landing at an unknown location. Russia has blamed Israel for the loss of the military Li-20M jets Monday. So it's all stirring up. Anti-aircraft systems sold to Syria by Russians. You see, they sold the system, so they would put in what they call that, some kind of beeper to know that that missile can't hit a Russian plane. You understand? The Russians are not stupid, you know. So that's why they know that it weren't one of their batteries was shot down, because Russia has given Syria the anti-aircraft, that missile defense system. So why the hell is the missile gonna hit its own plane? No, they put all them systems in place, so that can't happen. So they know they're bullshitting. And it says there reports of Syrian air defense activity and the missing Russian aircraft spread across Russia and Syria. News media Monday. Russian state news agency TASS reported that the Russian Il-20 military aircraft disappeared over the Mediterranean. TASS citing the Russian Defense Ministry said the aircraft went off the radar during an attack by 4 Israeli F-16 aircraft on Syrian targets in the northwestern province of Latakia, where Russia has based much of their military presence, including aircraft. See? So that F-16, whatever it was, F-16, yes, shot it down, man. That's what it did. Separately, Syrian state-run news agency Sana reported that air defense systems had intercepted a number of hostile missiles coming from the sea into Latakia city. The Russian military said Israel notified the Russian side about the planned operation by a minute in advance, and that the Israeli controllers would have seen the Russian plane which was coming into land. RIA reported. In a highly usual move, the IDF released details of its operation in Syria Monday, revealing the fighter jet targeted a Syrian armed forces facility from which systems and manufacture accurate and lethal weapons were about to be transferred on behalf of Iran to Hezbollah in Lebanon. These weapons were meant to attack Israel and posed an intolerable threat against it. The IDF said in a statement Tuesday. The IDF alleges that by the time Syria anti-aircraft missile had been launched, Israeli planes responsible for the overnight operations were already back within Israel airspace. The IDF also said that the Russian plane was not within the area of operation, while the Israeli strike in Latka was underway. The aircraft was shot down by an anti-aircraft system the Russians sold to Syria several years ago. A U.S. official with knowledge of the incident told CNN Monday the Syrian air defense network in western Syria is very densely populated with aircraft, missiles, and radar systems. In February, the two-man crew of an Israeli F-16 ejected from the aircraft when a missile exploded near from damaging their aircraft as they finished conducting a mission against Syrian forces. An Israeli defense official told CNN earlier this month the Israeli has struck Syria 200 times in the past 18 months to prevent the deployment of Iranian weapons in the region. The militarized zone in the neighboring Idlib. The incident occurred on the same day that the Russian announced a joint agreement with Turkey to create a demilitarized zone in the Syrian Idlib province, which neighbors Latka, potentially dwarfing a large-scale military operation and impending humanitarian disaster in the country's last rebel stronghold. That's what it's about. Because this is the last hurrah for the Americans and the British and the Israelis and the Saudi Arabians, okay? Because they still want that Assad regime. You know why? Because they want that gas and they want the mineral resources. And Russia's already there protecting it. Yeah, now Turkey is involved now, okay? Turkey was once wanted to get into the EU, to get into that little circle of them Edomites, but now Erdogan give them the middle finger, man, because they tried to overthrow him, you know, tried to coup and that, tried to get rid of him, and he stuck up the middle finger, man, and said, "Fuck you, man, you fucking bastards." Anyway. He said, speaking alongside Russian President Vladimir Putin at talks in Sochi on Monday, Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said the creation of a 15 to 20 kilometer, approximately 9 to 12 miles, demilitarized zone will prevent the humanitarian crisis in the northwest province. All heavy military equipment, tanks, ground-to-air missiles, and mortars of all opposition groups will be removed by October, 10 of the leaders said. The zone, which will be patrolled by Turkish and Russian military units, will become operational from October the 15th. Erdogan described the agreement as a solution to the issues in the regime. Speaking Tuesday, Kremlin press secretary Dmitry Peskov said that the downing of the Russian aircraft would not affect Sochi agreement in any way, adding that this is an important breakthrough agreement because Turkey now and Russia, they're lovers. They're in bed together now, okay? Basically. In recent weeks, Syrian and Russian planes have conducted scores of strikes in Idlib in the run-up to an anticipated offensive by Russian-backed Syrian forces to retake the last part of the country under armed opposition. And that's what these Western dickheads are trying to prevent, okay? Because once they take the whole country, then what's left? They have to get their asses out of there, okay? And they don't want that. Remember, they try to provoke and stir because they want... Remember what General Cockhead said? We're going into 5 countries, yeah? And Syria and Iran is one of them. It's 2 of them, I should say, okay? But they're having trouble with Syria. They didn't have that much trouble with Egypt or Iraq or Iraq, Saddam Hussein and that, because Russia wasn't backing them, but Russia is backing Syria. That's why it's hard, yeah. It's irksome for them. Anyway, it says here last week, UN officials said that more than 30,000 people fled the province in anticipation of the government offensive. Okay, so that's it. It's all getting stirred up, man, down in that Middle East, man, in the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, the Most High's judgment, man. So keep this news coming, man. This is all good news to us Israelites, man. Our salvation is near. Look up, because your salvation draweth nigh. Okay, it's near. Anyway, I'd like to say all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutation to the Akim pushing his word in truth and sincerity. Kwam Yashirallah.